guys, this is a big day. We are pulling our cable through our conduit. So if you remember a couple of years ago when we did all our burial of our sewer pipe and stuff, we buried conduit right there and ran it up towards our transmission box, or our transmission box of our electric underground. But it's about 2 foot from there, and then it makes a right turn and goes directly to the house. And right in between these two windows, I got it coming out. So right now, that's what we're trying to do. If we can get that, then that'll give us our 100 amp service to our house. So we'll wire it into our main panel, which is behind this wall. And then we got another 100 amp panel that'll go up in our pantry wall in the house, and I can start winding that up and stuff. So yeah, I think we're about, I want to say 20-30 feet in. So there's a couple of turns where it goes, and I know I said transmission box, but it's transformer box right there, our underground cable for our 200 amp service to the property. So again, there's a couple of elbows, sweep 90s in there that we got to get around. Actually, it's a 45 up here and a 45 there to come back to level, and then a 90 turns it towards the house. So I think we'll be okay if we can get through that. I think we're right around that right now, so that's where we're at. All right, guys, another major milestone for this house building. That is our service cable, and now it is to the house. So now it'll come up this wall in some conduit, and I'll have it go in the house somewhere around here, and our panel is on the other side in our pantry, and we will have electric to the house. So that was a big thing. Did we use the right conduit? Did the conduit come apart underneath the ground in 2 years that it's been down there? We hear a little water, so we're going to try to plug off this end with some tape and go down with our shop vac. And when you got a zero vacuum on it, like there's nothing else, that water should, I think, come down. And this runs downhill, and then once it goes behind the RV into the barn there, it runs way downhill, and I think most of the water will be sitting there. So if we can get some of that out, dry that out, because once this is all hooked up, no water will be getting in there. So big part, yay. So today we're starting to bring that cable through. Just put that pipe in to our panel, and that's where that cable will come through for the barn, and that'll be hooked to a 100 amp breaker. And then on the outside here, that cable comes out of the ground like we showed you before. We just added this. It's called an LB. And what it does is allows you to feed cable out of one pipe. And when it's this rigid and thick of a cable, it's hard to turn. You just don't keep shooting it through and making turns. That comes out, and then you push it through here. And then I'll put another, I'm reducing it to 1.25 inch pipe. This is 1.5 inches here. And I'm gonna reduce it when it goes in and to the box. So I gotta get a reducing LB, which we sell, and we'll feed that through and glue that on. But this is all glued up, ready to go, so it's weather tight, except for that one corner right there. So, and again, it'll come up right through there and into the box, and I'll wire in a 100 amp breaker, and then we'll have power at least to the house. And I got to do all that basically the same thing over there, run it into the house somehow and get all the fittings. We might do that this afternoon. We might do something different. So what's good is we got so many little projects. We're laying out our electric and lights in the house. Maybe we'll just switch to that this afternoon or something, but we'll see. All right, I'm at the other side of the house, or the other end of the cable, and learned a nice little tip. Take a piece of Trex decking and cut a nice little square for yourself, and that when it comes time to siding, you're just siding around that square instead of a hole. And we can paint that any color we want. We think we're gonna go with some kind of gray here, but we'll see. But anyways, that's just a little tip that I saw somebody do. And then when you're wiring in your lights, like we got an outdoor light that's gonna go here and in the front, do the same thing. And something it just adds a little finish to it and stuff, so. All right, guys, we fed that wire into the barn. Got the 2 LBs. That was tough. We are rookies at this, so I would have definitely gone with a bigger pipe going into the barn, a wider one at least. I downsized going into the barn for some reason, and I should have kept it at that. And even then, if I were to do this whole thing over again, I'd use 2-inch the whole way for this type of wire. So that's 1.5 inches, that's 1.25 inches. So then you go around to the barn. In here, and it was tough feeding those wires through. We tried it all at once, then one at a time, and finally had to tape the ends of it just to make it kind of rounded so it would smoothly go through, and we finally got that through. So now I got to hook a 100 amp breaker right here and wire this to it, and we'll be done there. But first I'm going to go back to the house now and finish that one, just so I know I don't have any electricity I can fool around. Here you had to be very careful. We had it shut off, but there's 200 amps where those 2 yellow things are. Those wires are live. Those do not turn off, so you just got to be very careful. All right, over to the house next. Whenever you think you got enough. All right, guys, next morning. Yesterday I got done late and had the 100 amp breaker. And as you saw, we've been doing is wiring it to the house. So I flipped that on. Now I'll go over to the house. Okay, I come over to the house now. We got our panel up here, all covered up. And I flipped that on, flip this outlet on, plug something in, and we got power in the house. Big day. So big day, we got power in the house now, 100 amps running here, and we can start pulling our wire to all our boxes, our switches, right here, outlets. I'm going to be installing the bathroom fan, everything basically that has to be put in before we drywall. I'll be putting a plug in for the dryer over here. So, yep, that's our next step, but a big milestone. We have power in the house. you.